Search them out, TwinAspenDentalCenter.com, 303-841-7466, 303-841-7466.
The Experience Pros Radio Show, home of the original Fan Braggin' Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a business revolutionary by sharing a fan bragging story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Braggin' hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG, FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Angel Tussey and Eric Kramer helping you get your business right. And you know us, obviously, here on the radio. But did you know that we actually have under our belt, in our experience arsenal, if you will, a full season of the Experience Pros television show?
Well, I know that.
I know that you knew that. It's true. And you can find that information over at experiencepros.com if you want to see the episodes and where they are and whatnot. But it led us to wonder out loud, would you ever be interested in taking your concept, your thought process, your expertise, and putting it on video and not just video, but maybe even television? There are a lot of things that we learned along the way.
There are definitely a lot of things that we learned along the way. And it's pretty, anytime that you think you're going to do some brand new production, of course, these days, social media makes it so easy.
Sure.
When we first started with our radio show, our podcast on the internet, all you needed was a cell phone and an internet connection, and you could have your own radio program.
Yeah.
Now, it's not exactly the same production quality as somebody who has microphones and a soundboard and a producer.
Oh, yeah.
And there is definitely quality to it.
$250,000 worth of equipment here between us and your ears, including the producer that does all the magic that makes it all sound great.
But I remember when we were first looking for a production team to actually help us produce Experience Pros.
Yeah.
We were looking for a studio. We were looking for equipment. We were looking for staff and all of that. And we met a gal, Tammy, and Tammy brought me kind of a spreadsheet of 3 different options I could have.
You bet. Now we're talking about television here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as we were looking for those television studios, cruise cast, and all that kind of stuff, and she brought you this choice.
Yes, it was a kind of a 3-tiered approach.
Good, better,
best. And she says, and she even had like car names for it. So like the good one, she's like, this is kind of like your broken down, Datsun with no tires.
Right.
And, and then here's like your Honda Accord, but used.
Yeah.
And then here's your
Maserati.
Your Tesla model. And each one had its own benefits and features to it. And of course, if price is the issue, you go with your broken down Datsun with no tires.
Sure.
And if you had all the money in the world, you're going to go with the Tesla model. Well, we picked the one in the middle.
We did.
Because I didn't want a Datsun with no wheels. That meant we were doing everything. We were schlepping in everything for every episode, every time.
Schlepping in everything and having students
volunteers
run everything.
Film volunteer students run everything as well. And so you wouldn't necessarily get any consistency. The used Honda version was I had a crew that produced every single the same crew for every single episode.
About 12 guys who, you had your audio guy, you had your camera boom guy, you had camera 1, 2, and 3 operators, and all the production team.
And all the studio furniture as well, and backdrops behind you.
Yep.
This was 2 years ago.
Right.
3 years ago. 3 years ago. Not that long ago. Now, you don't need any of that stuff in order to go live and do something production. Now, the quality obviously very different.
Sure.
But for most people who aren't in the TV industry,
right,
you're using it as a marketing tool. You're using it to open doors. You're using it to create credibility. You're using it to promote your brand. You're not really in it to be in the TV business, there are a lot of other options for you.
There really are. Let me round up that last third option, that Tesla package, or the Maserati, if you will, package. And that was going with the people who produce, Guy Fieri on the Cooking Network or the Food Channel, or the companies that do the Discovery Channel or TLC kind of programming. And when you're at that level, when you're able to afford that level, you better have some great connections to getting that out on the air. And second of all, cost is not an issue.
Well, and it was definitely an issue for us.
All right. So there's lots of things that you can do if you want to get your concept on the air. And like you said, social media has become the great equalizer, because now with Facebook Live, you can literally touch a button and produce a program of great quality. I love the idea of starting like a YouTube channel and doing that. I go on YouTube every weekend and spend probably the first couple of hours on my Sunday in checking out the food channels and things like that on YouTube, because there's broadcast quality television programming going on online.
Okay, so what kind of equipment would somebody need, Eric, if they wanted to broadcast their own program and have their own YouTube channel?
Well, the very first thing that you need is good audio and good video. So you need a camera that's capable of having a microphone attached, and you need a microphone that is not your ambient computer-based or phone-based microphone. You need a better camera and a better audio setup for that. Once you've got that, you can patch that into like a mixing board, some kind of a sound mixing board. And it doesn't have to be extravagant, but it should be quality, because if you lose people because your video is blurry or not high resolution, and we're talking ultra high definition now, or if your audio is horrible, you will never be given the second chance.
It's the audio that is, I think, the deal breaker for most production. If you're outside and it's windy, or if you've got more than one person in the shot and you're having a conversation and one person is voice is definitely overpowering the other person's voice, it's really challenging for folks to listen to. And so I think audio is absolutely key. And there are so many options that you have for microphones these days that you can actually fix that.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the next thing. Let's talk about set and some kind of set that is stable and consistent, unless you are in a program that by its very design requires a change of set. I think of Marie Forleo, who does a fantastic internet television show. And, her set is basically the same room every time, the same plant sitting next to her, the same stool, and Marie. And it's beautiful. It's stunning. She does a great job. Some of the cooking shows that I do are set in a kitchen, and the camera angle is exactly the same all the time, and everything's going on. And it doesn't have to be perfect. The biggest mistake that I think people make when they try to make a program, and I'm guilty of it, is trying to make all things perfect. And you probably don't need to. People will forgive so much. Even if you've got a kitchen and you're doing a cooking show and it looks like you actually live in the kitchen, that's okay. Pots and pans and things on the refrigerator, those are okay. Just keep it consistent.
Well, and try not to have a plant, right. Easier to watch and easier to be engaged in.
You bet.
And something that it's not a technical tool as far as recording equipment, but that you absolutely need if you are going to be broadcasting is high energy.
Absolutely. You literally have to play to an audience that you cannot see, but imagine that you're playing to the back row of any theater you've ever been in.
This is probably the most, challenging thing for folks once that camera goes on, because they're looking at the camera and they're talking to the camera,
right,
and they're usually in monotone, and we have so much that we want to share.
No.
And
You gotta
maybe we are even reading what we are talking about.
Pump it up, baby. You got to be on fire, because if you're not, nobody else will be. And so exaggerate your emotions when dealing with television. Lots of great ideas. We certainly didn't barely even scratch the surface, but we inspire you, at least we hope to inspire you, to go out and try your project and get it out there on the airwaves, even if it's YouTube. Lots of people on TV got found on YouTube. We'll be back right after these messages. Angel Tussey and Eric Raymer. This is the Experience Pros Radio Network.
The